There has been a lot of confusion today after conflicting headlines about Iran and the United States. Now, one report claimed that Iran had halted talks with United States. Then another report comes saying out Iranian negotiators are still engaged and have not walked away. So, what's really going on here with this? The simple answer is this: the talks are not dead at all. They are under very high pressure. So, these are major disagreements, and both sides are sending tough messages to each other. But communications between Iran and the United States is still continuing. So recent reports indicate that negotiators are still trying to keep very high diplomacy alive despite a lot of tensions. Now, let's understand why this really matters. For months, the United States and Iran have been trying to find some form of agreement, the common ground. The issues are enormous. The United States wants limit on Iran's nuclear activities and wants Iran to reduce support for armed groups across the entire region. Now, Iran wants sanctions relief, economic benefits, security guarantees, and recognition of what it considers to sovereign rights. Now, neither sides want to look weak on the ground. That's where the problem begins here. The biggest problem. President Donald Trump has continued using strong language towards Iran. Recent report says he has warned Iran about regional activities and threatened severe consequences if Iran crosses the certain lines. But at the same time, Trump's own administration is still participating in negotiations. That tells us something important right here. Pay attention to this. If the United States truly believed diplomacy was finished, there would be no talks. The fact that talks are continuing means both sides still see value in keeping the door open, right? Now, let me break this down about Iran's position. Iran's leader have repeatedly said that sovereignty is non-negotiable, whether people agree or disagree. With Iran's policies, one thing is very clear for Iran. Iranian officials do not want to appear as if they are making a decision because of threats. They don't want that. Historically, pressure from outside powers often strengthen hardline position inside Iran rather than weakening them totally. So this is why every time threat increases, Iranian officials usually respond by emphasizing independence, national pride, and resistance to the opposition. This is one reason negotiating becomes so difficult on these kind of tables. Now, each side believes pressure will force other side to compromise, but often the opposite happens. The other side becomes more stubborn and more stubborn. Now, let me break this down about Lebanon, because Lebanon appears to be one of the major issues influencing the atmosphere around these kind of negotiating between the United States and Iran. Iran has repeatedly linked broader regional stability to events involving allies and partners in the region. But meanwhile, the US and Israel view regional armed groups as a major security threat. Wow, as a result, what happens in Lebanon can directly affect negotiations taking place hundreds of, probably even thousands of miles away. Many observers argue that reducing military tensions in Lebanon would improve the chances of a diplomatic breakthrough between the United States and Iran, and that would probably end up towards the peace. Now, others argue that security concerns must address first before any broader argument is possible. That debate remains at the center of the crisis. So, what is Trump likely to do next? Based on current reporting, Donald Trump is likely to continue combining pressure with diplomacy on Iran. Expect more tough public statements. Expect warnings and demands towards Iran. Also expect negotiators to keep talking behind the closed doors. That's very important because despite all this rhetoric, neither sides appear eagerly to complete shutdown of the negotiating doors, right? They don't want that. The biggest question is whether both sides can move forward slogans to practical compromises or not. Can United States offer enough initiatives to Iran? Can Iran offer enough assurance to United States? Can regional tension be reduced long enough for the trust to develop between these two countries? Those are the questions that will determine whether these talks succeeds or fails. From now on, the headlines everyone should focus is on very simple thing. Iran has not completely walked away. The talks are still alive. The atmosphere is very tense. That's the main point here. The disagreements are serious here. but diplomacy is continuing. That's a very good thing. As long as both sides remains at the table, there is still chance to avoid a larger confrontation in the Middle East. So that's the real story behind today's headlines, exactly what I just broke this down. If you like the breakdown, you can subscribe and hit the like button to the video and help me to push this message to more and more people, and support my channel by subscribing. Thank you. See you in the next video.